Good morning. Still finishing coffee. Friday, 9:15 a.m. And I thought I'd live stream today's workout for something a little different. On the cards we have Dr. Slane's HPTek workout for the tour. Yes, my FTP is set pretty low. I've had a lot of time off the bike, so we should get through this okay. Alrighty, well, it's the Tour de France. Of course we have to do France. Let's go. Which route? Doesn't really matter, just not the hilly one. That was good, we can loop that one while we do a workout. Alright, rock and roll. I think everything is paired. Let's see how we look. Come on, Zwift, let's go, let's go. We are on. 2 minutes at 1:25. Okay, so we've got an hour workout. Let's roll. Let's roll. Apologies if it's the middle of the night wherever you are and you've got a notification that I've gone live. But I thought I'd jump on and have a chat. Hope everybody is well. Enjoying the tour. Always an epic stage. I won't give anything away in case people haven't caught up. Stage is SB20. Underneath me today with some Asioma duos. Which reminds me I should dual record while I'm here. Connected via Bluetooth, so everything should be pretty stable. We'll see how we go. Morning, Jonathan. Alright, dual recording's on. We're all good, we're all good. We have to ride the France map. We have to ride the France map. Portugal. Oh, sorry, you're getting an echo. From the audio. Sorry, I can turn this down. How's that? There's always changes with Windows updates and things for the stream. Yeah, let me know if it's on the voice or if it's in the music. I'll turn the Zwift sounds up a little bit. If you're hearing some nasally echo, that's just me bringing home. Oh, little Maxie's bringing home everything from daycare. Alrighty. Zwift sounds up. Music sounds down. Thanks, Josh. Awesome. Tap. I don't have any monitoring on what I'm doing, so I'm just hearing myself talk and a little bit of music in the background. So what's actually broadcast is a little bit different. I will up the tunes and background music just a little bit there, just so it's not me breathing. Alrighty. We should be good. So Dr. Slane has put together a bit of a workout package that he's put up on Training Peaks for every day of the tour. Something that kind of reflects each stage. If it's a sprint stage, a little bit harder at the end. If it's a hilly stage, a little bit longer. Wherever the hills are, just something a bit different. And I've spent probably about 20% of my normal time on the bike in recent times with travel and everything else. Losing my voice between times. So these have been great just to jump on and do something. I'm not following any particular workout plan at the moment. I don't have any goals. Just to ride. So this is good just as a bit of variation for what I do. Very quiet times at the moment on Zwift, indoor training in general. I think everybody is... cool, Jonathan, no worries. I think everybody's enjoying some time outdoors riding their bike, which is good to see. Here we're in the opposite end of the world for a lot of viewers. And it's very cold and very rainy here today. Oh, that's better. Okay, another fan is on. Oh. I can never start with all my fans on. It's too cold to start with fans on. Remote controlled fans are where it's at. All right, what have we got? So the main block is, okay, this is about 50-50. We've got 2 by 5 minutes at 250. I should be able to get through those okay. Then nearing the end there we have 10 minutes at 200, then 5 minutes at 250 again for a cool down. Cool, cool. All right, I'll be in the chat for the whole time. If you have any questions or comments or have any topics to bring up, fire away. Height of the Zwift season in Australia, it is. And possibly New Zealand. But it is amazing the difference in numbers we're seeing. I think peak Zwift for the last few weeks has been no more than 7,000 or 8,000 users online at once. Compare that to, what, 40,000 or so during other peak seasons. That's a phenomenal difference. How a company can scale support for that would be very interesting. Supporting 40,000 concurrent users plus everyone jumping in and out versus 7,000. It's a significant difference. Pookie, how are you doing? Fan recommendations? Anything, I have a small Vornado off to my side, so anything that's directional. I have had those big open fans with just, you know, the standard cooling fans that you get. They spray air too wide and everywhere. They're good for moving air, but not directly onto a rider. Vornados. I have a kicker headwind in front of me. I love that just for the manual turn on after I've started my ride. Your Apple AirTag brought you here. Apple AirTags. That was a funny story. Hey, Old Slow, how you doing? Sorry to cover off the fans. I'll try and be thorough with my answers to questions if people have asked. Yeah, I've got the kicker headwind in front of me. I do like the fan. Lasco fans are an alternative to those. Something that brings in air from the side and pushes it out the front is really handy for small confined spaces. If you have a Vornado, it's pulling air in from the back. You can't push those up against the wall without causing the airflow to drop. Manual control, they're always the cheapest. Kicker headwind's obviously Bluetooth controlled. I use the Bluetooth manual control. I don't hook it up to heart rate or speed. But if you can put them on smart switches. I'm not sure if it's advisable to put a fan on a smart switch. I think there's limitations on the wattages and things. Hey, Peter. But a lot of people don't have any issues putting just manual switch fans on smart plugs, which is something I should do a Zwift tip on, for sure. Jonathan, you're in Ireland, mate. We've got Irish weather here today. It's bloody horrible. It's just that misty rain, everything's wet and soggy. That's why I'm indoors. John, I saw your comment somewhere. Sorry, I can't recall where. About the chevrons, yes. I think the issue with the chevrons was on Sporting Kit or something like that. That company tried to ping me on. They've gone quiet now. That was a waste of time, wasn't it, really? Come on. All right, coffee finished. Before the power gets up too high. Right. Okay, Slane does have some... good stuff, Peter. USB 20 review helped me make the purchase. Awesome. I'm not sure if Peter's watching this stream. The spaces are strange. on one now. Zwift have changed the spacing on their font characters. Ooh. Sarah, you're feeling lazy? Could I quit inspiring you to go and ride your bike? No, take the day off. Take the day off. You know, gains are only ever made off the bike. You only do damage on the bike. So think of it as not a recovery day, as an improvement day. You're all good. You're all good, Sarah. Hey, Bristol, UK. You can have your weather back. Terrible here in Ballarat today. Rest week, best week. That's it. All right, 190. How are we looking for numbers? Oh, we're looking good. SB20 up against the Asioma Duos today. You're improving already. See, it works. Proven training technique. Don't ride at all. You're about to get a heat wave. Well, this is good. This is good because in about 48 hours, I'm heading back over to Europe. All right, I'll hold you to it. Squash, if there's no heat wave when I land. Actually, it doesn't matter. It's going to be nicer weather than here anyway. So back over to Europe for Eurobike. Last minute tickets. I only just arrived home a few weeks ago. So my AirTags are packed. I don't think I'll even bother taking luggage. I'll just take AirTags. But not with Singapore Air. I wasn't against flying Singapore Air again. I just had to get some tickets at the very last minute, which involves me flying out of Melbourne at 5 AM and back into Perth, I think 2 weeks later. Haven't quite worked out how I'm going to get back from Perth to Melbourne. Now, Corey, look, I asked Singapore for at least some compensation of first class tickets or business class tickets back to Europe. They weren't able to accommodate that. In fact, Singapore Air weren't able to accommodate anything other than some PR spiel of an apology over the phone. I get where they're coming from. It was a third party, but they're responsible for their third parties to pick up the act. Masked up for the plane. I think Singapore Air we had to wear masks from check-in all the way through to landing in Amsterdam. That was fun. New Zealand, yes. New Zealand winter. Good for the snow though. Yeah, AirTags are sold out everywhere here in Australia. I don't think it's any... it may have been a small amount of my doing, but not entirely. They work really well. And it's... I didn't just clickbait that. You've seen my channel and I've been playing around with AirTags for... well, since they were released. For bikes and things like that. When I find something that's fascinating and I think works really, really well, I'll do a lot of content on it. Those ones just, they work very well for airport luggage. What's interesting though is if it's in the cargo hold and you're out of cell reception, you won't get any updates. So you do need to wait a little bit when you land to make sure you get the latest update of where your bag may be. Drop into the Nog booth at Eurobike. Malcolm, it's on the cards. Be a very different vibe at Eurobike this year. It's in Frankfurt rather than, now let me slaughter the word, Friedrichshafen. Friedrichshafen. Now that small town in Germany, beautiful little town. I think it's on Lake Constance. It's made for blimps and made for very big airships. It's not made for humans. Not 20 to, 40,000 humans to try and have accommodation. Frankfurt, on the other hand, I think is more made for humans. So accommodation and transport should be a little better. Can you check it out? Is there anything people are expecting from Eurobike? Are we expecting new trainers? I think the Tour de France has been the showpiece for new equipment this year. Elite with their Justo. The Tour specialised with a couple of helmets. Giant and their new Propel. Scott, good question. How did my follower or subscriber base grow after the TV exposure? Absolutely zero, Scott. Wrong demographic. A lot of the TV channels, they're a bit of a sandbox. They want to keep you in their walled garden. So I think the current affair video, which had probably 70 or 80,000 views on their YouTube channel, didn't call me Gplama or link to any of my... And to be honest, I don't think the mass media or the general public will be subscribing to tune in for the next update on reordering your photos on Strava, or maybe the latest firmware update for your Garmin Edge or Bolt. Yeah, it's interesting. See, back in the day, traditionally, you were on television, you sort of got a bit of a bump, but no, not much. I had a lot of people message me though and say they saw me on TV. It was interesting. I didn't shop the story. I think I've said this before in another place. I didn't shop the story around. I made the video on losing my bag and finding it because I lost a day of work, and it's about $100 in fuel and $30 in parking and a week of phone calls, etc. I think I'm almost breaking even on the fuel bill from that video. But none of the media, none of it was paid media at all. None of them were like, oh, can we come and take up 3 hours of your time filming B-roll shots? And here's $10 for lunch. Nothing, they're seagulls. They come in for the free chips and they piss off. Which is kind of what you expect for trash TV and trash media. Let's be honest, that's exactly what it is. They'll be on to their next story of two neighbours bickering over a tree that's growing too high, or council parking fines. And you're right, linear TV, a lot of things have gone on demand. 325, this is the most watts we'll be putting out in this workout. Oh, you're killing me, Slane. Squash, this is not a Lama lab test, but I am in the Lama lab doing a ride. It's my own workout. Trying to scrounge whatever I can of fitness back before jumping on a plane again for 2 weeks and not being anywhere near my bikes. I should take up running. Such an efficient way to be fit. Great Britain Challenge in the Lake District. Tell me more. I'm not familiar with that. Scott asked about the brake pad shortages from Shimano. What else have I tried? Not much experience there. I've recently replaced the brake pads in my road bike, Shimano Ultegra Di2. All I could find is the non-finned versions. They work. That's all I could find. I prefer the finned versions. They look a little better. Not sure whether they perform any better. Not doing any long epic descents here. And on the other bikes, they're all SRAM. So swapping those out is not a problem. 113 miles. Oof. That's a lot of kilometers. What's 113 miles? 180? Okay. 175, 180 Ks. Hey James. What have we got? 5 minutes at 250 coming up. Okay, cool. 25% off. Sarah, you went wrong. 6 days, 23 hours and 55 minutes of that week of phone calls navigating over you. Yeah, just to finish off the AirTag / bag story from Singapore Air, their PR / media guy gave me a call and talked me all through it, gave me a bit of a, hey bro, you know how it's like, you know what it's like, we're all busy. Hey, yeah, I get it. I also wanted some flights back to Europe. I didn't get that. Yeah, the toughest sportive here in Australia would have to be Three Peaks, which is 220, 240 kilometres. And I think, oh look, you'd have to look up the Three Peaks challenge. It's 3,500 metres of climbing, I think, maybe more. Huge day on the bike. Something I've looked at. I've never done it though. I've ridden most of the roads, so I know what it covers, which is enough to keep me away. No, never had to go at the Warnie, no. It's a big race here in Australia. If you win the Warnie, yeah, that's a pretty special thing. Had a few friends win it. Nathan Elliott going back to back, which is like phenomenal. I was in tears when he won it the first time, knowing, you know, the smaller team that he was on and the work that he put in for the Warnie. So it's 280 Ks, I think, 270, 280, 290, depending. It's one of Australia's classic races. And yeah, Nath won that. And come back the next year and we couldn't believe, I think he did the same move or a similar move to win. Oh. Phenomenal. All right, 125 for 5 minutes. I can do this. I can do this. This is exactly like a tour stage. Sitting in. Oh, my heart rate's the same as my power. My heart rate's higher than my power. Yeah, that's kind of scary. Second oldest race in the history of cycling. Yeah, I believe so. A lot of history behind the Melbourne Warnie. They're doing a dirty Warnie now. Off-road. I think it's 250, 260 Ks. That'd be a long day. But what I like about the gravel racing scene is that you've got the groups who race it, but then you've got the groups who just want to finish. A lot of road racing is all about, don't make the brake, it's been a bad day. Road racing is always focused on performance and grading and things like that. And I think a lot of the gravel stuff is more, I think, friendly, I'd call it. It's, I think, one of the big reasons why gravel's taking off. Watch this heart rate soar. Whew. I think I've had 2 days of good health in the last month before something else comes home from daycare. But just been slowly cooking away in the last week. Yeah, look at that heart rate, damn. We'll get through it, we'll get through it. $4,000 meters, damn. With some of the hardest climbing at the end into what they call WTF corner. Very well named. Yeah, gravel does get people away off the roads too. Also helps. It's a big motivation for me. Riding solo a lot. But around here there's more roads to choose from on the gravel bike. It's been a brilliant, 18 months or 2 years of discovery after getting a gravel bike myself. Look at that heart rate. What is going on? Oh, it's real too. It's not the heart rate strap. Zwift Power, no Tom. GDPR killed Zwift Power a few years ago. So, given it was an opt-in service, when Zwift Power was still a third party, I was conscious of testing power meters, trainers, and other things, and having that data, possibly unreleased product too, having that data sync up to Zwift Power didn't quite sit well with me. Even now, Zwift own Zwift Power, still kind of, I guess there's a lot of what do you call it, terms of service, terms and conditions they've sorted out, but no, I'm not on Zwift Power. I think Zwift need to, if they're going to do it for everyone. Have it, when it was working back in the day for everybody, it was great. But having it opt-in doesn't work, to be honest. If you're part of the racing scene, you're taking part in some of the races or organised events, I can see the use being important. But as I understand, it's still a split system. Zwift have races in the companion app, race results in the companion app and in-game. Yet you still have to manually sign up or connect Zwift Power. All too hard. All too hard. That's my take on it. It has potential. How's that at 176 BPM? $177, damn. If you're a newbie coming into Zwift, trying to understand first what Bluetooth is, what Amp Plus is, what erg mode is, what sim mode is, what else, you name it, all the little things that you take for granted once you've learnt them, and then throw on top of that Zwift Power and APIs and signing up to third parties and checking results that are different on screen versus on the web. There needs to be a, I don't know the word for it, let's call it a Googleification or an Appleification of all of this. When you buy an iPhone, you pull it out of the box, there's no manual. The product takes you through everything. Any Google product, same deal, turn it on out of the box, it's a really good experience. Now I know software isn't the same as a hardware and setup experience, but that's one of the major blockers. Zwift messaging, yeah. Quick tips on the keyboard. M for messaging, if you have a keyboard in front of you, or using the mobile app. Sarah, you're on the bike. Awesome. Now, unfortunately, there's no ride with, so you can't join me. One of the things I'd like to see is, and we see this with Strava, because my video yesterday about reordering Strava photos, which is just something that I do all the time, so I thought I'll put a video out in case anybody hasn't seen that. And if I can help one person, which I have, because someone said, that's a great tip, fantastic. I'm like, great, we helped one person. Strava are doing it, and we see it more and more often, and I don't like it, and that is the tendency to push everything to the mobile or a companion app before the web or before here in Zwift. So one thing I'd love to see, and I'm going to submit this through as an idea number 450,000, is that you see what we've got on screen here. I'll try and change screens without it. Here we go. See on screen here, my workout, if I touch the top bar, bang, I can get a visual of the workout. I know what's coming up mentally. I'm like, okay, cool, I've got another 5 by coming up, or 5 by whatever coming up. An easier block and another 5, and then a rest, cool. Mentally, I love looking at that graph, and it ticks along with the shadow. But in game, I can't see that. Why not? Just below the little white box where it says stage 7, finish in 31, why not just below that, draw the same graph as what we're seeing here? Something as simple as that would be good. Again, taking the reliance off these companion apps and passing, hey, there's your game. And pushing it out to the web. You push, out to the web, or out to the main app. And that will work on Apple TV, Android, everything. I'd love to know the stats of people who use the companion app. You can do a lot more with it. But then saying that you need X computer to run Zwift, Y device to run the companion app, plus your trainer, plus XC, it's sort of all adding up. So I think I'd love to see just a few more little things just put in game, such as that workout graph. Actually, that works well on the screen now though. The bottom of the map is for elevation is redundant in erg. It is. Yeah, it's I guess the challenge of using erg mode for workouts in a sim world. What would be handy, if you're in erg mode, maybe just change the camera angle so it looks like you're on a flat road all the time. Maybe. Good job, Sarah. Good to hear on the bike. Have an easy day though. Have an easy day. That's where your gains are made. You've gone from a Garmin watch in a chest strap to Samsung watch without it. Oh, 250, that's right, here we go. Okay, so erg mode on the SB20 kicks in pretty fast. John, I've always found, I've got a strap on now, it's the, what have I got on? Ticker X. I've always found chest straps to be the most accurate. I have a Whoop, which is fine. I guess overall day stats. Depends on the accuracy. Sometimes I find wrist watches take a little time to pick up the first 5 minutes of a ride. The arm straps are okay, but yeah, my personal preference is a heart rate strap if I'm wearing one. And today I am. You can see that heart rate struggling. Power smoothing, Tom. Let me think. Is that erg mode power smoothing? Or power smoothing in general? They're two different things. Okay, erg mode power smoothing. I've done a whole video on this one a few years back. That's on the kicker. It's an option on the Wahoo products. Now what erg mode power smoothing does is, when you say, like right now, Zwift has said to the SB20, peg erg mode at 250 watts. And the SB20 is like, okay, cool. I'll try and hover around 250, depending on how smooth I am on the pedals. You can see the number they're jumping around. 246, 251, 255, 238, 250. That's because there's no smoothing on the power meter at all. Now, it's kind of not... Well, that's what's happening here. On the Wahoo side of things, erg mode power smoothing says to the trainer, okay, Zwift will say do 250, and the trainer says, okay, I'll do 250. I'll also just report 250. So it doesn't jump around at all. And you'll see on your, I'm way above threshold at the moment. For heart rate, not for watts. Although that's probably my threshold. You'll see perfectly smooth erg graphs when you have erg mode smoothing enabled. They'll be flatlined. So it sort of reports what the setting is, not exactly what it's doing. Although it should be pretty close. You're seeing here no power smoothing or no erg smoothing on, and yeah, it's a little rough on the graph. Power smoothing without erg mode is usually about just a display of what's at 3-second average, 5, 10, 30, etc. I ride with my head units on 3-second power average to stop that bounce around. Anything more than 30, it's not really that useful. Lap average if you're doing intervals, but full ride power average is not that helpful. If you're at the end of a 2-hour ride, you're not going to be able to bump up your average power in the last 5 minutes. No, you're all good, John. All good, mate. This is Whoop 4. Yes. Which has helped me get to sleep a little better. Well, to tell me that I'm not getting enough sleep. Plays havoc with different time zones as well. Hammerhead chest strap. Had a look at that a year or two ago when it was first out. Had some really interesting issues with it. Now, to be honest, heart rate's a solved problem. 1 beat per beat is pretty easy to detect for most products. The differentiator is reliability and something like onboard storage. We done? Ah, good. Onboard storage, metrics with the accelerometer such as cadence or running and things like that. They're the differentiators now in heart rate. So they're all pretty much of a muchness. Not much has changed. Polar H10 has been a very popular choice in recent times. I had some issues. Well, originally it was Ticker, then H10. And I've contacted Wahoo about the issues I was having with the Ticker after about 18 months to 2 years. And I had a replacement unit sent. I'm like, okay, challenge accepted. Let's see how long this lasts, and it's still on. Heart rate straps are in probably the worst place for bike tech. It's sweaty, it's sometimes warm, sometimes cold. They're working pretty hard. Yeah, strain recovery. Okay, Sarah, you have the Whoop as well. Yeah, I found that I can't wear a big watch to bed to track sleeping. Just doesn't agree with me. This, on the other hand, is low profile, very low profile. So coming off Corona, what was that, early May, I made sure to track my sleeping, resting heart rate, oxygen, etc. Now all the different units do it in different ways, but ballpark, if you're comparing itself to itself day after day, you should see some kind of trend. And yeah, Corona didn't affect me. Oh, I just felt I had a weird cold or a weird virus. Different than the standard daycare things that Max brings home. But in recent times, my travel, whew, that really threw me. Sleep deprivation's a killer. So my resting heart rate went from 43, or the value of 43, to 57 or 63. That was just through multiple flights and things. All right, what have we got coming up? We've got 10 minutes at 200, 5 minutes at 250, and we're done. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. This is a good one. Thanks for dropping in, Sarah. Any questions I've missed, please fire away. Let me have a look here. Your family thinks a projector for Zwift is too much. Why are they wrong? Because you should have an 85-inch high-def television, not a projector. You want crystal clear images, not a projector. With the 1040 release, we think we'll see the new 5XX released soon. A lot of people were expecting a 540 and an 840. Garmin have always, it was the word leapfrog releases. So we had that 1030 come out, then the 530, 830, then we had the 1030 Plus a year or so later, and then we've got the 1040 now, and now the 530, 830 are not a little bit behind, but they don't have the new user interface, etc. I don't expect it this year. I think they'll... You've got a projector. No, I said an 85-inch LCD screen or an OLED or something. Go big. What was I saying? Yeah, I think they'll bring out the flagship, which they have, the 1040 and 1040 Solar. And then people who will adopt new and shiny things will buy that for the next 6 months or so. But Garmin have set themselves up for a release of the 540, 840 soon, I guess. And by soon, within 24 months. Depends. GCN, they were talking about the resting heart rate of riders throughout the tour gradually increases throughout the event. That's interesting. I'd love to know what their max heart rate does throughout the event. I bet you that lowers. I've always found on subsequent days, where you had the cardiovascular fatigue, your heart rate just doesn't go as high. I'll always hit max heart rate the day after a rest day. Whereas after a few days, it just can't get up there. Power's still the same. Losing a bag affects heart rate. No, losing a bag increases opportunity for YouTube content. The Mave. Yeah, Tom, Maven sent me a message the other day. He's doing well. He said, I knew it was you when I first saw the headline of that AirTag thing. Which made me laugh. When on group rides, it's hard to see the start of sprints. The sprint markers, that's all about course knowledge. It's hard to see the sprint markers when you're in a peloton in real life too. So that means Zwift is real. And you should never start sprinting at the line. Zwift sprints are interesting. When people first get on, a lot of people first, they'll wait, cross that green line, then start sprinting, then cross the finish line. Because what we see in cycle races, the winner is always the person who crosses the finish line first. Whereas Zwift sprint jerseys, it's whoever is the fastest between point A and point B. Zwift is real. So that's a gotcha in learning the online world. You'll actually get a better sprint time if you started sprinting maybe 10 seconds prior to where the sprint line is. And even when your power dips a little bit, just hold. Your avatar's already up to speed. So it rewards the highest average speed between the 2 points. Not just who crosses the finish line. If you want to grab a jersey in a bunch ride, lay off the bunch as they, like let's just say, I've got a sprint coming up. I can't tell. I don't know this course well enough. You'd lay off the bunch, let them string out, and then attack at them. Then you get the slipstream effect all the way through. Yeah, so here, go now. Here's the sprint line. Oh, give me some non-erg action. Oh, thanks for the break. Too late on that. So, erg mode corrected me there. But you'd sprint way before that. Get your power up and peg it. Oh, come on. I've lost the flywheel. There we go. Don't sprint during a 200 watt erg sesh. So now erg is off. Anyhow, that was an example of how not to do it, but if you see the green line ahead, or you know it's coming, start. I don't have more power. It's up to you to give me more power. Okay, so I'm using the front brake on the SB20 to give me more power. Hold steady to reactivate. Reactivating erg. Are we on? Are we back to erg? We are. See, just that alone? That's a tricky thing to... So again, if you were a newbie, got yourself an SB20, jumped on Zwift, accidentally went for the sprint in erg, your session's ruined because it wasn't... Anyway, you saw just what happened there. I can't repeat the news about my package here. I'll be playing that game again. Follow along on Instagram. I'll be back on the plane again on Sunday morning, chasing AirTags back to Europe. Best frame at level 25? I'm not sure. I don't keep track of best performing or anything like that anymore. Marginal gains, I think, at the top level. Zwift Insider is what you want for that. I've just chosen this. I think it's the Giant. Let's have a look. Yeah, the TCR, which I ride outdoors, and the colour matches my jersey. Louis, the trainer that I'm on at the moment is the Stages SB20. Would I give up using a bike computer for an equally equipped phone app? No, I wouldn't. That's where things are kind of going, but I do like the ruggedness of a bike computer. I do like that it has one purpose. That is slowly doing a lot of things that my phone does. Now I like having, I started off with separate bike computers, so that's sort of, a lot of people do use their phone though as their bike computer. One thing you need to be careful of is vibration. If there's any stability with the cameras and the lenses, you don't want your phone shaking around too much. Screen readability in the sun, battery life, etc. Yeah, the Tron bike's still a way to go. Can't go too wrong. Hey, pace partner. Oh, I didn't load the map fast enough for me to give ride-ons. Oh. Dustin SB20. I like that it's almost dead quiet. I can just jump on and go. No gears. No slamming through. Little ring, big ring. For sprints. Power is... It's not too bad. It's a bit finicky with the 2 power meters on each side. Making sure they're all paired up and zeroed. Some reports of some issues with wider Q factors or pedaling styles and power accuracy. Slowly looking into that. A lot of my testing is not too bad. Within 3, 4, 5 watts. I'm looking at the moment, things are lining up with the Asioma Duos. But that's just me. Probably the most solid built of the smart bikes. It doesn't move. And as you can see, erg mode's working fine. Except when I sprint and you see the erg mode screw up. The shifters, yeah. I'm back to standard shifters now. So I do have the brakes. The mountain bike shifters were, or the setup was, that was nice and upright. Didn't mind that. The shifters with the SB20, I just had the thumb shifter up and down, and I had either a dream drive or like a 1-bike configuration in the virtual gearing. I'd love just normal Shimano or SRAM style shifters rather than the thumb. That's probably, yeah, I'd like improvements on the SB20 would be better shifter buttons. Just copy what Shimano have done or SRAM have done. Other companies seem to have gotten away with doing that for now. And what else? Yeah, having the power meter in the flywheel would be handy. I'm not too fussed about left-right balance on an indoor bike. If I need that, I can put some pedals on. Connecting both power meters, then through to the trainer is a bit of a clumsy solution. I don't mind that it doesn't move. It is very static. You can get up out of the saddle and move around. Haven't used Hunt X all seasons, no. Got a set of Hunt alloy rims. They're going well. Had those for years. And some Hunt, I think they were 4050s. They're going well. Probably a bit outdated now with their 19mm internal. And clincher style, not hookless. But they roll fine. Lots of options for wheels at the moment. Lots of manufacturers going hookless, tubeless. Look, I'm sure you could customize the Stages front end for sure. Aero versus weight. Depends on the terrain you're on. If it's mostly flat or rolling, not much of a... and the speeds that you're doing to, I guess. But above all, you've got aero, yeah sure. You've got weight, yeah sure. But does it look any good? It's the most important. All right. 320, come on. Yeah, the SB20 is so quiet. You can't hear it now, I've got audio filtering on, but Vaughn walked in yesterday and said, oh, I wasn't sure you were doing a workout, I could hear the music, but I couldn't hear a trainer. I'm like, yep, okay, there's a data point. The wormhole of cycling. It is. It's an all-encompassing wormhole. Which course you on? Actually, Sarah, you will be on this. You wouldn't be able to message me in game otherwise. $175, yeah. That's a learned skill talking at heart rates like this. I've told the story a few times before during racing up Mount Hotham, Tour of Bright. Everyone's on the limit, including me, and I'm yelling at one of my mates, Justin, to get up. He was targeting the race training for it. I knew he had it in the legs, but he was cooked, and I'm just trying to rev him up, talking to him. He was digging deep. Someone looks over to me and goes, if you can talk, you're not going fucking hard enough. Typical Aussie response. He was angry that I was talking. So we had to up the pace a bit. Guy was right, I wasn't going hard enough. Right on from Jexter. Alright. 1 minute. I'm toast. 178 heart rate. Crikey. What was the Eddie Merckx saying? It doesn't hurt any less, you just go faster. Same works in the reverse. It doesn't hurt any less, you just go slower. Holy shit. I think that's one of the unspoken or hidden things of cycling that you lose FTP quick. You lose fitness quick. I suspect most people are going backwards more than forwards. Everything's about progression, PRs, maximals. Where's the whole, no, it's okay, you can be a shit rider. Then compared to yourself, that is. Whoa. All right. That's where your sports performance prescriptions and subscriptions don't work when maybe you step away from your PBs for a while. Maybe you step away from your target race event. You don't want to step away from cycling. How do you keep engaged? How do you keep the interest there when you are going slower? When you are at 175 BPM at 250 watts? I'm not quite sure any companies really figured that out. I mean, Zwift provides the fun, but a lot of focus on the racing. I don't even participate in that because where my head races is a very different place to where my legs and lungs are able to race. All of the above, squash, all of the above. I think, little Lama coming along has changed things a lot. No, all good. It's all good. I'll happily talk about the decrease in FTP. In racing days, it was up around 360. I was down to around 69 kilos. And I could knock out a decent TT road race and crit and all that. Like that's still where my head is at. That is a frustrating part. But I mean, priorities. I guess that's why I like the bike tech. It keeps me interested in things, no matter how fast or slow I'm now riding, or how much I weigh. Getting a new head unit. You don't win or lose a race going out riding with a new head unit. You get to see what new functions and things are all about. Yeah, 330 hours. So probably 10 years ago I started. When I first got into cycling, probably the first 2 or 3 years, stepped up to about 330 in an FTP for TTs and things. And then what's funny, and I mean this is common knowledge with marginal gains, or was it diminishing returns? I got to 330 quickly, and then to 360 it took a long time, and then going backwards, not much time at all. Balance maintained, absolutely. But I think it's important for, what's the messaging around? Whoa! Yeah, no worries, 2000 watts. Where did that come from? What was that? That was my inner demons ripping out a sprint. Now, what's going on? It's dropped down to 105. Oh, okay, disengaged jerk. Yeah, where's the... I don't know, where's the going backwards race plans? Okay, I've lost everything now. I've lost sim, erg. This is just... whatever that 2000 sun flare was. What was that? I saw my avatar get out of the saddle and I've lost all resistance. Look, 100 watts. At least my heart rate's down a bit more now. But I think as long as we can find our own goals in cycling, a lot of people will compare FTPs and compare PBs and compare Strava segments and things. And I think, again, looping back to gravel, like there's a lot of what I call discovery of new roads, new experiences, and I think that's what has been lacking a lot in the last, let's say, 24 months. When there's new Zwift roads, there's an element of discovery. You log on, something's new, cool, new bike, again, discovery. New tech, new trainers, power meters. Yeah, there's that journey that you want to learn something new. I think we're all programmed to want to learn something new and not just do the same thing over and over and over. I think that has been missing a lot. So yeah, Eurobike next week, it should be interesting. Well, yeah, what's new? What's going to keep people interested? And ultimately, what's going to keep people spending money? That's what keeps the industry alive. It really does. But again, it's back to, what's fun? Competing with yourself. But that's why I turn Strava segments off most of the time. Oh, look at that maximal sprint, 2000, of course. Great Lama lab test, that one. I'm keen to see where that was read from. I'm recording both via Ant Plus, so this is via Bluetooth. I'll have a look at that later on. All right, let's do a bit of a cool down. To try and enjoy the hills. Yeah. See, where things keep interesting with the hills is the new gearing we've got access to. I mean, the new Shimano Di2105 goes up to 36 on the back. If you're on SRAM, you've got even more options up the front and back. Yeah, coming to the Eagle setup of the... Oh my god, I've got the pace partner coming up behind me. I do. Awesome. Good timing, pace partner. Just don't be doing 4.5. Running a compact, yep. 1134 on the back, sweet. Yeah, I've been amazed at the gearing on the gravel bike that I'm running. So it's a 42 on the front and 1052 on the back, or 1050 depending on which wheel set. Oh, let's go. And that thing crawls up walls. It's great. Now I can't give ride-ons because the map isn't working. Oh. It's unfortunate. Do it manually though. If they had the circle at the top on the map, that'd be handy. Just the little things. But you've already got one. You've already got one. You've already got one. You can have one. You can have one too. Alrighty. Done. Alright, I'll speed it for another few Ks. And then back to work. Not on the bike, off the bike, where the gains are made. Anybody going for the sprint? Oh, can't see anybody flying through. .30-34 for the low gear. Yes, brilliant. It's a less than a 1-to-1 ratio. I like it. Does depend on where you're riding. We've got both worlds here, flat and hilly, depending on which direction I ride in. And on a good day, I'll do both. You see my Strava, I'm out the flatlands first for an hour or so. Headphones in, podcasts in, up to speed with all the latest podcasts. If anybody listens to tech podcasts, I listen to the Daily Tech News Show with Tom Merritt, Sarah Lane, etc. Always good to keep across in about half-hour bite sizes of what's new in the world of tech. And there's so much crossover with the bike stuff. There really is. And then onto the hills. Wow. I've got a mate who, Tall Tones I call him, and whenever we're on a flight, we'll send a picture of the leg room that we have, and we always try and get the best seats. If we're flying into differently anywhere, where we're flying, Tones and I will always send ourselves, we'll send each other photos of the leg room, and Tones has just sent me, he's doing just a short trip, but his knees are up against the seat in front of him. Poor guy. I just spent late last night watching the tour and rearranging my seats on the next flight. Extra legroom. I'll pay the few $100s for the extra legroom. The worst part about an international flight though, and you'll know exactly what I mean when I tell you, is that when you've done a 10-hour, 12-hour, 16-hour flight, and then when you just want a bed to lay in as you're walking out of the plane, and you walk past business and first class, all the beds, just cruel. All right, chat poll: window seat or aisle seat? I'm aisle. Short trips, window, so I can see out. But, oh, yeah, okay, aisle, yeah. And if I sit down and there's someone next to me who needs to tap me to get out, the first thing I'll say to them is, hi, if you need to get out, anytime, even if I'm sleeping, tap me, no problems. Long flight, aisle, yep. But I'll always initiate that conversation with the person next to me, hey, you need to jump over me, no stress. So it's exactly what I want the person next to me to say or do if I was ever on the inner seat. I think the worst inner seat experience I've had was 12 hours. I'm too polite. I don't want to, hey, it's Emma Fowler. Hey, Emma. Sarah, use the next 20 minutes of that hour as recovery. It's where the gains are made. Hey Emily, congrats on the new team. Is that a new bike as well? Let me know. Yeah, see, if you've got a frequent PR and you've got to jump out, that's okay, because as soon as they stand up, you stand up as well, and it's a bit of an, oh, yeah, just by stretching our legs. But do you kind of get the creeper label, though? If the first thing you say to somebody is, how often do you pee? Oh, I'm a urologist. Right, okay, no worries. Or you just pretend to be a urologist for the flight. Ah, dude. But Em, you got new kit. You have to get new kit. Can I interest you in some adult flight nappies? Okay, I'm going through the 40Ks. We're way off topic. Oh! Hang on, Em, you're in Brisbane. It's still the same state. Can't you just drive? I mean, Queensland's pretty small, isn't it? Couldn't your mum just drop you off before work? I'm joking. Queensland's quite large. At what point did they cancel the flight? You weren't at the airport already, were you? 19 hours. We have to specify in that that's in the car, because there's probably flights in Australia that take 19 hours too. It's a big place. Is that round trip or one way? Your mum will still be home for tea if she leaves at like 2 AM. Oof. Oof, so 6 PM you got the news. Geez, I bet you slept well after that. Oh, that sucks. Ah, I've got to back off this pace partner. I'm cooling down. Plano, plano. Alright, 1K to go. Oh, the only email I've got this morning is from myself that I've gone live on YouTube. Quiet day. Actually, morning time in Australia is an interesting one because the rest of the world is either going to sleep or sleeping. It's yeah, plus 12 hours from now. It's the busy time. But yeah, Eurobike coming up. Stay tuned. I'll try and put together some coverage from over at Eurobike. New pair of Zip 303 is going to cheer you up. Hell yes. USA is bigger than Australia, but we still can't play cricket. It's a funny one. I've seen the that video where it's trying to explain cricket to people who aren't from either England, India, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, usually the Commonwealth, and it's where the guys like roll. It's British comedy. But they roll a hoop, and then they stop and have a cup of tea, and then they jump up and it is hilarious, and it's exactly what cricket must look like to people who aren't familiar with cricket. See, when you grow up as a kid, all the rules just make sense. 6 and out in the backyard. That's funny. sealing mid off. It's a fielding position. Yeah, sealing mid off. I'm not sure. Is that close in on the leg side? Let me have a look. Sealing mid off. I'm guessing it's on the... You're making me go past my 40Ks. I'm looking for silly point, silly mid off. I'm guessing it's a right-handed batsman position. Okay, no, it's bat side. Pretty much kind of near where the bowler ends up. Probably not a popular fielding position given the bowler will be caught and bowled from there. Probably not used for spin bowling. Maybe pace. Square leg makes sense. Backward point, deep point, cover, extra cover, mid off, mid on, yeah. Deep square, short fine leg, third man. Yeah, left hand bowler. Yeah, good point. If you have left hand bowler coming over the wicket, on that side you put a silly mid off on. Depends on where their run off is. Yeah. There we go. Sarah, you know cricket then? Oh, okay, we're going to 41Ks then, aren't we? Before I hit the start of this climb. Good chat, cricket fans. I love the Ashes this summer. I was out on the bike for most of that, actually, listening to the live stream. It was great. All right, 41Ks and we're done for the day. Whew. Thanks for the chat, everybody. Thanks for coming along at a random time of the day. We'll be looking back past through the logs to see what that 2,000 watt spike was all about. And then back to it. So, Eurobike coming up. We're flying out Sunday morning. I should be in Europe Sunday night their time. Eurobike kicks off on Wednesday, I think. I'll try and get in a day early just to get the time zone sorted because we are completely flipped here. And I'm going that way is not too bad. It's just like staying up late. And staying up late is not easy, but it's coffee and it's Coca-Cola and more coffee. Coming back this way, oh, it's a kick to the head. It's like trying to get up at 12 AM and staying awake all day. Doesn't work. What are we versing in? Because I will be hanging out with Ray for the next couple of weeks. What do you want to see us verse in? How about we just make some videos? How about we just chat bike tech and power meters and trainers and Eurobike? Let me know as I hit stop. Ray's got me covered in the swim and the run. Might even have me covered in the bike at the moment. I think I've got him in the sprint. Let's just do sprints. I've got to win something. All right, we're good. Rock and roll team, thanks for joining along. Gadget reviews. Yeah, look, I'll try and put some content together with Ray. I didn't do anything other than a quick members only video there last time. DI2 105, it's on the cards. It's on the cards. Hey, anything you want to know about DI2 105? It's on the cards for me to cover today if I get to it. So just quick. Nothing? Awesome, that's easy. I'll cover nothing. I've got a little summary list and also just some commentary around where I think 105 now is positioned. I don't think it's the every man's, every woman's, every person's group set at the entry level. I think they've shifted the goalposts, and again, what I have to talk about today, if I get to it, is that I think the messaging of the PR could have been micro-adjusted, boom tish, just to tell people we've moved things up to a high-performing mid-price range group set. It's no longer the cheap budget entry-level option, which I see the Tigra filling that gap. If Tigra comes out with, say, an 11-speed mechanical with Remy, that's fine. And I think everyone would understand that. But you see the comments on 105, the Di2 stuff, it's brutal. People are ripping them on it. But the advertisements we've seen, it's still sort of pushing that message that it's entry level. At an OEM level, it might be. I started off with a 105 bike, so I could talk for days on this. I started off with 105 Shimano, 9-speed. Back in the day, my bike was worth less than $2,000. Great entry-level race. Didn't have the performance of Durace, but now that gap is really closed. So the top 3 tier group sets are now race performance, not entry-level. I just think it's a PR thing. That's all I need to do. I want bikes with 105 less than 1,500 pounds. I think you'll get, look, let's just say they brought Tiagra up to replace the 105 in the positioning. I think people would be okay with that. It would sort of extend Shimano's offering rather than going up against SRAM, which had 3 tiers on the road performance. Yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that, and I think that's echoed in the comments we see everywhere. I'm not going to slam 105. I think it's, I mean, I love Di2. The gear changes are crisp, but they've now brought that performance down to the lower level. It's a little heavier, but anyway, I think it's just a messaging thing they could have done a little better with, and let us know what's coming. 12-speed mechanic is still allegedly coming. Then, yeah, Tobin, they're the rumours. They just needed to, if they did a dual release, I think it would have been received a lot better. Even just a dual announcement with the release coming in months, maybe a year. But 105 hasn't been entry-level for a long time. We've seen entry-level bikes have bastardized 105 with what they trulative cranks, is it Sunrace cassettes, different chains. We've seen OEMs really strip down 105, so the full 105 group set's never really been entry level. So, and I think the people who are watching this kind of content and commenting on GCN and commenting on all the other places that have covered it, like, we are looking at that level, and you know, you can't bullshit us. We know where it's at. Yeah, Microsoft cassette, Microshift. If it was a Microsoft cassette, it'll have to be updated every day. And with that, I'll leave you before I start pulling out more dad jokes. Thanks everyone for coming along. I'll get back to work. Eurobike coming up in next week. Hopefully have some content between now and then. I'll be catching up with Ray. Keep an eye on both of our channels. We'll be having a lot of fun over there. And yeah, have a great day everyone. Thanks for coming.